truly not only fascinated, but excited to have you here, Mike Kobold. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you very much for having me, Sarah.
I want to leave a little mystery, so I want you to share what you've done. I mean, you're not only a very wonderful entrepreneur, but you're fun as well. You're a doer, which is what I love. So share a little bit about your story.
I started a watch company as a college project about 18 years ago, and that morphed into a company that is a trailblazer in vertical integration as far as watchmaking is concerned in the United States. Now, what does that mean? The United States used to produce the best the best watches in the world, and then the Second World War came along, and American watch companies had to produce watches for the war, for the military, and so the Swiss came in and flooded the market with watches, and that's how we today know Swiss made as a good product. But it used to be American, and so we're restoring that. All the American watch companies went bankrupt by '69. There were none left. 1969, they all went bankrupt. So we were the first in almost 40 years to bring out a true American-made product, and that's a big accomplishment because we lost that knowledge, and now we're bringing it back.
Mm-hmm. I think you're very interesting. So this is why I love bringing people on air who are doing exciting things, and you climbed Mount Everest. I have to just add that to the list.
Yes, yeah, I have.
And I mean, I think that's daring, and yet it is something that we all want to aspire to, like goals, reaching those goals and saying whether you can do it or not. But you did it, and how was it? How was the expedition? How did you find it?
It was great. I actually I did it twice because the first time we did it was with oxygen, and my wife said that doesn't count. You have to do it without oxygen because only wimps do it with oxygen. And
Nice.
so she forced me to do it again. But I did it with oxygen the second time too, so she was disappointed. But that was an expedition, or those two expeditions were organized to raise money for the Navy SEAL Warrior Fund.
Nice.
And that's a fund that supports U.S. Navy SEALs who are injured and their families if they're killed.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was for a good cause. I have a fear of heights, so I never expected to reach the summit. And neither did the Navy SEALs. They, in fact, trained me on their base in Coronado.
Wow.
And so as a watchmaker, you typically are a little bit pudgy. It's a very sedentary position. So when I arrived at the SEAL training grounds in Coronado, they looked at me and they said, "You're puny. You have to do something." And that was much harder than the actual climb itself.
I just think that this is not, I mean, you're telling me now you've climbed it twice, so I really have to try this out at least once, because I mean, I'm all about trying stuff and going beyond those limits and reaching those goals. And did you meet your wife on the climb, or so I've heard?
Yes, I actually did. We met on the flight into the Himalayas. So you fly into a place called Lukla. It's known as the most dangerous airport in the world because at the end of the runway is a big mountain. You can crash into it. And then we trekked for 10 days to base camp because there's not even a wheelbarrow. There's no real transportation. You have to walk. You have to trek. And after 10 days, we reached base camp, and by the end of that 10-day trek, we were in Ida. And she felt that having just gone through Navy SEAL training, I looked very sexy. And she asked, "How many mountains have you climbed?" And I said, "I've never climbed a mountain in my life," which she didn't believe. And she's a very well-accomplished mountaineer, and she didn't think that was the truth, and she felt that I was probably being humble, which she also felt was sexy. And then a week after getting to base